Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing The Sadness, a new horror movie coming to Shudder later this week. The Sadness is a Taiwanese horror film about an outbreak that causes ordinary people to enact the most cruel and ghastly things imaginable, and a young couple that is pushed to the limits of sanity while they try to reunite amid all the violence and depravity. I was super pumped to check out The Sadness. I've seen this get a lot of buzz online and from various horror film festivals due to its extreme violence. And oh my god, was that buzz well warranted. The Sadness is gory as fuck. The first kill in this movie is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen, and I promise it only gets worse from there. For those of you who have zombie fatigue like me and got worried when you heard the word outbreak in the synopsis, don't worry, this is not a zombie movie. I actually really liked how the film's disease was portrayed. It's quite creepy and very reminiscent of the outbreak in The Crazies. The infected remain human, keeping their ability to speak and move about normally. The only changes beyond an increased bloodlust are unsettling large permanent grins on their faces and blackened eyes. Visually, it looks a lot like the curse from the movie Truth or Dare, except actually scary and not completely hilarious. As I said earlier, the kills in The Sadness hold nothing back. Zero. Just when you think you've seen the worst of the worst, something even gorier and more gruesome happens a minute later. Just when you think a kill scene is over, it keeps going and gets somehow even gorier and even bloodier. Seriously, I cannot oversell it. In this movie, every single body part is brutalized and tortured in ways you could never conceive. This movie is thoroughly fucked. As a whole, The Sadness is really a hard movie for me to rate or recommend. Normally for me, the more gore the better. I love buckets of blood, I love great practical effects. Some of my all-time favorite movies are slashers or splatter flicks, and yet somehow this was just too much. The Sadness has very little story. It was just scene after scene of the most depraved, over-the-top violence you can imagine. There was no humor or heart or anything to break things up, to give some relief, to balance the movie. While movies like Evil Dead or Dead Alive have substance beyond their violence, The Sadness just feels mean-spirited and evil. It's an ugly film, disgusting gore and rape for the sake of shock factor, just to be able to market this as the most disturbing film of the year. If you can stomach extremely gory movies, stuff like the Hostel sequels or a Serbian film, you may have some fun watching the over-the-top gore. This is certainly a horrifying horror movie that will get under your skin. But as a movie, and not just a highlight reel of violence, The Sadness just isn't exceptional. I'm really surprised to be saying this, considering all the buzz I read online, but I mean, overall, once it was finished, I just did not enjoy watching this movie at all. If I had to rate it, I'd give The Sadness a 4.5 out of 10. The Sadness comes out on Shudder on May 12th. Please let me know down below if you plan to check it out, and if you do, definitely have a barf bag handy. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Horror Flicks with Nick. Twice a week I post horror reviews, commentaries, and short recommendations for horror movies you should watch on Netflix and other streaming services. Thank you all for watching my review of The Sadness. I'll see you all back next week for another horror review.